Hi everyone. Well, I thought I'd do a little video today for the sunflower challenge that Nick from Nick's Allotment Diaries has set out on his channel. This is a competition that I think he has done for a couple of years amongst other YouTube gardeners to see who can grow the tallest sunflower. I think there's a couple of categories to the competition: tallest flower and largest flower head. But I was inspired this morning by watching Grow with Kit's latest video, where he was using these plastic cups to sow his sunflower seeds in, and his explanation for that was due to the fact that if you sow them in normal pots they can become pot bound, and a plastic cup will allow the root to just penetrate straight down and not become pot bound for when you place the seeds out. So I'm totally going to take your advice, Kit, and sow mine in here as well. So without further ado, let's talk about the two varieties that I've got. The first one, these were little kiddie seeds called, they're by Johnson's, Seeds for Little Gardeners, and it just says the variety is called Sunny Giant Sunflowers. So that's the first lot. Doesn't really say much about them on the back. It does say to sow them directly outdoors, but I'm going to ignore that and do them indoors to start off with. And then the other one, and these are slightly out of date seeds, so who knows whether they will germinate, are some from Sutton's, and they are just called Giant Yellow. And it says grow the tallest sunflower, 1.8 to 2.7 metres apparently. So again, it does talk about sowing these outdoors, but I think judging by what everybody else is doing, I've never sown these before, so I've never grown sunflower. I might have done when I was a little kid, but I can't remember. So yeah, I'm going to do them indoors. I've got just a potting compost mix of, I think it's just a B&Q sowing compost mixed with some vermiculite, so I hope that's going to be enough. And I will also nick Kit's other suggestion, which is to put some ground cinnamon on the top of each plant, which is supposed to help things prevent rotting, I think he said. So yeah, loads of tips from Kit. I'll put a little reference to his page as well, his channel, because he's been giving lots of good advice. So yeah, without further ado, I'm going to get sowing. So I've labelled all my little pots with some tape, marking out which ones are going to go in which pots. I've got my compost ready. I think it might be easier just to scoop this in like so. Oops. I don't think I've got enough here for all 8. Let's have a look. That's one pot. I'll slowly fill these up and then start putting the seeds in. So a bit like everybody else, I'm going to put 2 seeds in each pot. These are the Sutton's seeds. Some of these are stripy and some of them aren't, but I don't suppose that makes a difference. As I said before, these are out of date seeds, but I'm hoping that's not going to make too much of a difference. So I'm putting them in approximately ½ an inch down, 2 in each pot, and then I'll probably pick out the best 4 to pot on eventually. So that's all of them planted and watered. When I've oh, should I just move my kettle around? When I've looked back at Nick's video, which I wasn't quite with it this morning when I first looked at it, but when I've looked back at it, the competition is actually for two things this year. One is for the largest head, and the second thing is actually for the most flowers grown off one stem. So I think there's another sunflower challenge knocking around with somebody else around the height of the sunflower, but this one is for the largest head and the most flowers off one stem. So I'm going to stick these in my very small greenhouse. My new greenhouse is still yet to be finished. I've got the base down, but the guy can't come back to fit it until the first week in May, so my little greenhouse is looking very full, but I'm sure I'll find a little place for these beauties. And Nick, thanks for setting out the challenge. I'll put a shout out to your channel on the description of my video, and I'll post back later on once we've spotted some germination. Cheers! So I've placed my little sunflower seeds potted up in the greenhouse. Just to give a quick update on my other seedlings, I'm having a bit of a disaster, possibly making some newbie mistakes, but this stuff on the left here and down below is the Rudbeckia, I think it's called, and up here it's like a daisy type flower. That's coming on okay. These are my chilli seeds, which haven't come up yet. Yeah, I'm just talking. I love you. I love you too. And then down here I've got on the left hand side shallots. They've sprouted okay, but the cauliflower and the Savoy cabbage, which were inside for quite a long time, have gone really leggy, and I think that's because they didn't get enough light in some of those dark winter days that we've had. So what to do? Do I just bin them off and start again, or do I just try and plant them out, covering up some of the stems? I don't really know. So if anyone's got any thoughts on that, I think I've heard somebody say just to bin them off. The same could sort of be said for these things up here. So those are Brussels sprouts over there. They're not quite as leggy, the ones at the back. And then at the front, this is parsley, I think, from memory. And then at the top here, these are only just coming up. These are Aquilegias. I think that's how you pronounce it. So those have only been moved outside today. And then down below, another disaster. This had started off so well. These are cucumbers. So I've completely lost one there. This one's still going strong, but all the others are starting to wilt. And I don't know what I've done wrong there. I mean, the pots are not tiny pots, but maybe I should be potting them on. If anyone knows, please let me know. Yes, darling? Yes, you can, sweetheart. Yes. And then in better news, over in the corner here, are the red onions and the garlic that I've got. So it's not all doom and gloom, but yeah, as I say, if anyone's got any thoughts on my cucumbers and all this stringy stuff, the cauliflowers and the Savoy cabbage, whether I should carry on or start afresh, I'd really appreciate it. Speak to you soon.